Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Flickering Torch. It's me in the top right corner. I'm not in the top left today. We are continuing with our campaign, Blades in the Dark Red Herrings, and this is, unfortunately, our penultimate episode. So that means there's this episode and then one more. If you're loving the series, please let us know on all of our socials, and maybe you'll get a season 2. Oh, everything's kind of paused for a second here. Audio?
I've still
Everything paused. Literally everything in my whole life paused for a second there.
It was going so well.
It's all I don't even know why I do these intros anymore, bro. It always ends poorly. I'm just gonna hand it straight over to that man over there. Oh wait, no, I've got some news.
Oh, before we do that, we have news.
Back to Ben. News. We got news.
Back to you at the studio, Ben.
Ah, we hit 100 subscribers, and we got balloons. Hey! I bought balloons for that, so...
He didn't explain the balloons beforehand, so...
Yeah, I blew up balloons while these guys were just chatting to me, but I thought, now is the time. Now is the balloon-based time. There you go. We have balloons. 100 subscribers. Thank everyone. Thank you. Right, now I'll have...
Vanity URL is yours, Ben. Vanity URL.
Indeed, I don't get that for 9 days, apparently. YouTube. Right, Jordan can now introduce the show. I'm done.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Ben. So, welcome everyone, as usual. Yes, Ben is very happy, it seems. But welcome back to Blades in the Dark Red Herrings. We'll start off with James this week. James, please tell us who you are and who your character is.
I'm James, and I'm playing Giscard as our resident leech. He's the saboteur and technician of the group.
Very good. Addison, move on to you next. Please tell us a little bit about your character.
My name is Addison. I am from the Pod of Many Things, and my character is our brute force, our sledgehammer instead of a scalpel, Orland Welker. Skull.
Yes, very good. And finally, we have our resident host for this stream, Ben. Stick your hat on and tell us who you are.
I'll be playing Aldrich Booker, the leader of this gang or band of scoundrels, depending on how you want to pronounce it tonight. I'm on the gin, boys. I'm on the gin. I've got balloons on the gin. Like, don't expect any kind of enunciation from me today, because it's not happening. Aldrich Booker.
Yes, we're celebrating in one sense, but we're also not celebrating because this is our penultimate week. But as Ben said, if you've been enjoying it so far, let us know. Check out the other episodes and stick around because there will be more shenanigans to come.
We're announcing the next show at the end of this episode.
I believe we are there, yes, but as I say, we will wait until then. But for now, boys, shall we not continue with our endeavours in Duskfall?
No, I say we don't. I say we just hang it up here, boys.
Oh,
that's honestly fine with me. Cool. Thanks, guys.
It's been a great stream.
But no, so
sorry, I had to do it.
Last week, if anyone remember the people in the room and also people who may have been watching, we had a guest. And he helped us to do a bit of sabotage with the military, boys. And it went surprisingly well.
Swimmingly,
yes,
boys. Swimmingly.
It did. And we had a scene with him parting ways with the party. But before that, we had a few days in lieu. And for that, we'll start the stream tonight in those few days. And we'll do downtime from the last score because we weren't able to do it last time. So we're going to do downtime. So we'll start with James again. What would you like to do for your 2 downtime actions?
De-stress.
You'd like to de-stress. That sounds like a good idea.
It's been a while since I've done this.
What is your vice, by the way, James? Would you?
I
don't think you've ever actually rolled in your vice. So
no, I don't think I have. It's. I think I selected pleasure. Hang on.
Pleasure. So that would be like you enjoying the finer things in life. Buying expensive liqueurs, the expensive cigars. The luxury.
Fine dining, the usual stuff.
Very good. So you can go off and have a bit of a high class, an upper class bender, if you will.
I can take you to the Centrilla Club. We've got the same vice, and I need to de-stress.
Yeah.
All
right. So yeah, you can introduce Aldrich can go off and introduce Giscard to the joys and the wonders of the Centrilla Club. James, I'll just ask you quickly to roll. So it's your lowest attribute rating, which is of the 3 attributes. The left hand
nothing.
column. Well, go for the one that's not nothing. Then a single d6, I assume.
I've got 2 in one and 3 in t'other.
Because again, roll 1d6 because I think that's how it works.
Roll
1d6.
If it's 0, you roll 1d6.
Yeah.
We're in blades. It's show chat. That's the one.
Yeah,
I should probably whack
So,
that up on the
one-
screen. There we go.
1d6.
1d6.
2. So you clear 2 stress. That's your first action. Anything
Nice.
else you want to do?
Same again, please, barkeep.
There we go.
Come here.
You've had the taster menu. Now you want the a la carte.
Indeed.
And then 1.
1.
The a la carte's not very good in this Ventrilo Club.
Yeah, this dice bot's gonna. I think it's gonna throw me.
But you're
this
saving the good rolls for later.
You'd like to
God, I
hope.
hope you
Yes,
are.
so that's your 2. Seeing as you are
Yeah, me
also
too.
present, Aldrich will go for you next. What would you like to do? You assume your first one is to.
Yeah, I'm going to try and clear some stress first and foremost because I want to be able to push my luck. So that's 4.
Yeah.
Is that just straight up
That's a
4
4.
stress gone?
4 stress gone.
Nice.
Damn.
Nice. And then
Nice.
can you remind me how training works?
So training is if you decide to take the training action for your downtime, you basically mark 1 XP in the attribute rating that you wish to train in. I believe you have an upgrade for, I believe it's prowess training,
Yeah, prowess.
which means that when you take the train action, you mark 2 XP.
I'm
You've
gonna
basically got an
train.
upgrade. Yeah.
I'm
You're
going to
gonna
go.
train in
We've got one of
prowess.
those big old cow carcasses in the lair, just hung up on the boat. So I'm going to just start boxing it.
Lovely. So you're training prowess, so that's you can just for free mark 2 XP. You don't need to roll or anything. It's 2 XP in that tracker.
While you're doing this and doing the boxing thing, I'll watch you in the lair. I'll watch you doing this, and after a little while, I'll be like, stop. I take a fucking great knife out, just cut a very specific piece out of the cow. Carry on.
Is it the bit that he's been tenderizing,
Yeah.
shall we say?
If you think this meat is in any way in date, you are very mistaken.
Fair enough.
Yeah. It falls away. You touch it with the knife and it just shrivels. But no, so that's you two done, I believe. Addison, what does Orlan wish to do with his downtime?
So the first thing I want to do is clear stress and basically present my father's sword to my mother as like an obligation thing, knowing that I have to do that eventually.
Yeah,
like
no,
I feel as if that would make me feel better because I've given that back to our people. So I'll
Yeah.
roll 1d6.
Yeah, you can go do that, and you can roll your dice to clear your stress.
1d6. Or I'll take that 4.
Yeah.
Nice bod.
I would also, if possible, DM, I'd like to clear heat.
Oh yeah, reducing heat is an action you can do. Yes, let me just remind myself how that works.
I should have done
Because
that.
we don't do it.
You never do that, do you, boys? I'm going to just bring up your character sheet because I never have to worry about you reducing heat normally, so I actually have to keep track of it this week. But so how you reduce heat is you do it with an action roll, and you say what action you're using and how you're reducing heat for the party. So how would you like to reduce the heat?
I would like to go and have a bit of a word, and by word, I mean sign language with my fists. The local newspaper press, and tell
Right.
them to stop running stories about the
Red smoke, the giant red
about
firework.
the red. Anytime that the
Golden
red
elephant.
herring, yeah,
But
like the red herring thing turns up, I basically want to give him a bit of a rough housing, tell him that he's not allowed to print any stories using the red herring, if possible.
He has to pay
Right.
us.
Yep.
We
So
can
that'll
run
be
affiliation.
what skill are you using to achieve this?
Skirmish or command is fine, or
Sounds
rec
more
if
like
you want me
command to
like-
me.
Yeah,
You
Sure.
roll your skill in command,
2d6.
and I'll tell you how much stress you clear.
I'm gonna move
heat.
away from
6.
Heat, sorry, not stress. 6. So your heat reduces by 3. One other thing to note, boys, is because of the reputation that you gained the last time, you've essentially reached the threshold for reputation where your crew tier can also increase. But this happens obviously at the cost of coin.
Have we got
So
coin in the lair for this?
You have exactly the amount of coin in the layer that you require to do this, which is 8. You have 4 in your vault and 4 in the layer. So you can increase your tier by emptying the layer of coin.
I was also going to ask if I can use
Why
coin to do extra downtime.
Yeah, sorry. We'll do that first. We'll finish individual downtime first, and then we'll go on to that. So, what was your extra?
So the 2 other things I wanted to do. I was going to spend.
Oh, you want to
2
do 2 other things? Okay, that's 2
Yeah.
coin then.
So 2 coins because I've got 4 plus 1 in. Must do one of my long-term projects and use the current dissatisfaction with the military to turn the general populace against the military by basically making sure that the right people get their hands on the news of that the experiment and everything that went wrong, yada yada yada. Maybe find some of the people from the dockyard and talk to them, get them to tell people. So that would be another command role, I'm guessing.
Yeah, if that's what you want, if you're obviously issuing orders to people to go and
Yeah.
distribute some news and fake news, as it were.
Sorry, yeah, it's fake news, I guess. They did blow up.
All it's
I'll take the 5 and the 6.
It's a 6. Yep. So your highest roll is a 6, so that will give you 3 ticks on that long-term project.
Oh, baby!
And
I got
you had
myself.
one more thing you said you wanted to do.
The last thing I wanted to do was there was something else I wanted to do, and I just forgot because I was gassed about the fact that I'm 3 ticks away from turning the general populace against the military.
Hmm.
Can I please take back that coin because I forgot?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, you can do that. You haven't spent it yet because you haven't done anything. So,
Cool.
So very quickly, you 2 boys want to do anything extra for coin, or
No, I'm good.
you're good? Right.
Don't
So,
think so. No.
if we're on the jumping back to increasing the tier of the crew, it'll cost you 8 coin. And you have 8 coin in the layer. So if you want, we can have a little montage of everyone jumping around the layer, looking under seat cushions and very rummaging through gaps, looking for all of the coin and the money that you have in the layer.
I think we're scruffy with everything but the money. I feel like all the money.
Yeah, I think we know where that
very
is.
neat.
Right, fair enough. I will allow you to say that the only neat thing in the entire gate. Go on, Olin.
Our ledgers and everything are spotless, but everything else is just fucked.
We've got a vault, and then when your grandma used to have a 2p jar. That's what the rest of it is. It's one of the the bootleg brandy bottles, just full of tiny coin.
Holiday fund written on it.
Yeah.
You smash up the coin-filled bottles. You take all the money from the safe, and you through again, because we had a few days. We'll say that this happens again over a few days. You send a correspondence to your patron. He responds, and he responds in the form of a man who turns up at the layer and expects to collect the money, which you hand to him, and he says it'll be taken care of. So you are now a tier 2 crew with absolutely no money in the layer. Let me just update that sheet accordingly.
So what do we get at tier 2?
So basically, tiers, it's your tier gives you a slightly more luxurious layer. Mechanically, what it does is it increases the quality of items that you craft and assets that you acquire. So
Can we get
if you want
gang members yet or not?
So assets you acquire assets temporarily as downtime actions. So you essentially just roll. So you roll your crew's quality, which is a d6 for each number of tier you are, which would be 2 now, and the number you roll obviously indicates how good the thing is. And obviously that includes little gadgets or anything you want to craft that's consumable.
I haven't yet had a big need to craft gadgets, to be honest.
Yeah. Maybe you will now that you've got a slightly more luxurious layer.
The one gadget I've crafted is a one-man bailing device, which replaces my effort of work for bailing for a machine. Well,
it's now got 2 buckets.
Yeah, but now Silas has been banged up. You've still got to bail anyway. Thunder Knight has given us a very interesting proverb in that being broke means better crime, and I think we should take that to heart right now.
Yep.
We need to be
I also
better
like the
at
fact
crime.
that our gym has gone from Our gym has gone from a single like hanging piece of meat to a hanging piece of meat, and now like flour bags to be used as weights.
Yeah.
Like,
It's also got like hanging salami for you to use as a jump rope.
Ah,
This is what happened at the beginning. Like, again, by the end of these 4 days, by the time this scene unfolds with Jack, the layer will have been upgraded. It will have all of the things that you requested and required. The slightly improved gym, slightly improved workbench for crafting purposes, maybe another shelf for the brandy. We don't know.
cool. I
But-
will. I'll take up on that craft bench and use it for a theatrical device and upgrade the bailing device so it now does 2 persons worth of work rather than just 1.
You make another one and gaffer tape it to the gaff, like it's a thing.
Yeah, why not?
It happens. One thing we do have to mention also, guys, is unfortunately a real life cast member that has been absent for a few weeks is unfortunately not going to be able to return for the rest of the stream. Has also been like arrested in game. This is the reason for his absence, guys. When he was originally interrogated by the Bluecoats as to his dealings with the Lampblacks, turns out some senior Lampblack figures were also interrogated, and Christoph, the very same man who in week 1 assisted you with some information about your first score together, has pointed the finger at Silas for being the lead conspirator in the Lampblack revolutionary movement, which has been sweeping the city as of late.
In that man's defense, Silas was pretty much the lead conspirator. He painted their symbol everywhere.
One could say that there really wasn't much of a Lampblack conspiracy until Silas came along.
I
Having
also
said
like.
that,
I also like the fact-
first. Sorry, you were saying.
I was going to say that like Orlan would be in his hammock and like reading the news, and then see that
Yeah.
and be like, "Oh, that's where he's been. I've wondered
Yeah.
where he's gone." Like just like.
And if Orlan's reading that in the hammock, he'll turn the page and he'll see the continuation of the story, which is that when Silas was blamed and named as this lead conspirator, he was brought before a magistrate. And unfortunately, it's quite a comedic read in the newspaper. The journalists clearly had a very good time saying this because, for some reason, he opted for the maritime law defense, which is following on from his newly established law firm that he'd set up. Reason also why your ledgers are in such good nick in this layer is because Silas previously was managing them, and his penmanship is just phenomenal. But yes, he stepped up into the courthouse full of confidence that this was going to work, and then realized that the Lampblacks have got no affiliation even with water, let alone with the ocean and its space. So that defense was quickly laughed out of court, and there is a at the bottom of the page, there is a sketch artist's image of Silas being dragged, his arms held both sides, and he's kicking and protesting his innocence.
I also like to imagine he's holding an anchor because that would help with his defense.
Oh yes,
Just a little one, though.
That is, he is removed from the courthouse and imprisoned. He is now in prison in Ironhook, serving his sentence, which conveniently will last more than the rest of this game. Maybe Silas will return in the future. We're not sure yet, but thank you for. Well, I'll say this now quickly. Thank you, Sean, for the character that you brought us, and also, by the way, everything that I just talked about in that story was all off Sean's back. He's done a brilliant job. I think it's fair. We do wish him back. We miss him and we want him back. But for now, unfortunately, he is.
Sean, we miss you, bro. We can't wait to hear from you.
Yeah. So thank you very much, my friend.
Pour one out for our fallen soldiers.
Yeah. So, again,
Real life be like that and does get in the way sometimes, though.
Right, so we're down Silas. I guess what would happen is if Aldrich finds out, he gets the newspaper clipping and posts it like on the wall. As our achievements. Our first achievement. Yeah. Every time we've made the paper, and now it's just him getting arrested and shit up there.
I thought it was a bit quiet that we had not heard from him for some time. I was confused where the Horned Man had gone, but now I understand.
Now that I realise that we've not seen a ghost in about a month, yeah, we probably should have realised that he was gone.
Yeah. Should we do something about the Lampblacks themselves? Or leave it as it is?
Why don't we just continue to frame every single crime on them? And I think that'll be enough, really.
That is what you've been doing up to.
let's
should
do that.
send
Then.
Silas some kind of edible arrangement, though. Like
Mm,
strawberries or something.
yeah,
I heard cheese
You want
goes
to set that
well
up
in
as
your
a downtime actions.
I think the classic one to send is a cake. I believe that's the usual thing to send, sometimes with a file in it.
Yeah. So this conversation will be taking place not long after Jack's departure from the last episode, where he's parted ways with the party. They're all now sitting around. They've just discovered the news about Silas, and they're discussing it. And from outside, you'll hear a rap against the door of your lair.
Like a freestyle, or have they got a beat? That was awful. I fully apologise for this shit.
Now.
Get out! I know you're hosting the stream, but get out!
Oh, you've disturbed my flow. There was a knocking at the door.
I'll go open the door.
You did this. Bastard.
I'll go open the door.
So when you open the door, you see there's a man standing there with a sort of holding a piece of parchment in his hands. He's looking up. He's been sort of perusing it. He's looking up at the sort of decoration on the outside. You'll look at him, and he'll, as you open the door, he'll start. He'll clear his throat, sort of stand shoulder straight. You'll notice he's in a blue coach uniform. Quite a.
I would like to, at this important juncture in this altercation, officer, say that we are in fact currently on a boat, and as such, maritime law takes precedence, and you can't actually arrest us. It has to be the Navy.
Shut the door, Aldrich.
He looks a bit confused at that point and is like, I believe I'm in the right place. It's this, you are Mr. Booker, I believe.
It depends. Please
Who's
come
out
in.
the door?
It's a most
you're
right,
inviting-
reputable officer of the law who I'm sure doesn't want to cause any trouble. Do you, mate? Come on, come in.
Why, of course not. No. Thank you. And he'll head inside. He'll take the parchment, fold it up, and put it inside his coat at this
You
point.
see-
Again, the uniform is such, it's not so much a dress uniform, but it's a well-maintained, like, recently cleaned, like, beatsman's uniform, if you will.
You see a flintlock barrel like come in from a hole that like is at where the guy's head was. You see it like, and there's just like one icy blue eye watching as Orlan's like up against, like stood on a box, like looking through, like because
Go on,
the
sit
stairs
there.
leading up.
So that's where Orlan is. Where's Giscard at this point?
I'll probably be by the drinks cabinet, the decanter or something in hand, pouring a drink. And I'll say to the officer, you are allowed to partake, or are you on duty? Do you have to wait?
Oh, he almost out of habit, he looks over his shoulder and is like, "Oh, go on then."
I'll
Sure, requirements.
pour him a
It's
small
business-
drink of
It's
his
business
choice.
I wish to discuss, and normally that's best done with some liquid assistance.
I'll
gonna
pour him
gesture-
a small drink of his choice from whatever
Cool.
we got.
I'm going
So
to
he'll-
gesture
you
for
want-
him to sit down in the haunted chair where all the ghosts have sat.
He'll be like, "Oh yes, thank you." It's kind of it's slightly more it's in slightly better nick now that the crew tier has increased and the quality has improved. So it's like he doesn't turn his nose up to anything. He gives it a sort of brief once over.
Drops
with
it
his
in the
eyes
river and
he's
give it a
like,
wash.
But then he goes and sits down at the table. And he's like, "Right, so just so I'm completely clear." He holds up a document. Like he takes some more documents out of his own, not the folded parchment he had before. Some more like almost like a clipboard, Victorian, whatever Victorians would pass as clipboards.
A clipboard.
Well, whatever. And then he takes that out and he flips over the pages and he turns it round and shows it to you. And it's a mock-up of. Do you remember that time you were on a bridge and you stole a load of boxes? And just
Yeah.
before you left, you handed some blue coats some documents, and towards the back of these documents was. Would you like to describe what it was, Aldrich?
Well, as Aldrich always does, because I'm aiming to become a Batman villain, the last page of this massive stack of documents I gave him, just scrawled on it was a big red herring, because our gang was called the Red Herrings.
No speaky crossy. No speaky crossy.
He turns this around and his demeanor kind of changes. Whereas before he was a bit sort of, he seemed a bit more reserved. He seems to relax into himself a bit. He's like, I'll say again. I assume I'm in the right place.
Aldrich like leans in very close to the document and goes, "What is that? Some kind of big maroon shark? Whale, perhaps?"
Listen, I'm not going to waste either of our time here. I believe that I have something that would be of interest to you, and I believe you would also be of assistance to me. You've helped us before.
Off the books? Aye.
You helped us to get those. You helped us to get some documents before. They've been very useful to us in our intelligence gathering.
So what exactly do you need then?
I believe... My name is Rafe, first. Please, we will dispense with the formalities. He says that again. It's like you've called him Copper, but he's still like formality. He kind of realizes at the last minute. He's like, "Is that the right word?" But oh well. So,
can I have a second to go run and grab a pen? I've just realised I don't have a pen. Very professional stream. 100 subscribers. Woo!
Start our notepad, bro.
What's our hold music, guys?
What's love got to do?
No?
Got pen. I'm ready. I'm ready to start the
Oh,
stream again.
God. Please, you saved me from James rapping. Thank you so much.
His name was what? Ray.
Rafe. I'm
Rafe.
guessing that's spelled as in like Rafe Fine.
Reyf is the Duskvold spelling for the name Rafe.
Wow, that's
Gentlemen, as I said, I was not directly involved with you before, but I have he taps the clipboard. I have been following your work for some time. Your skills really are something to be, if not marveled at, then mildly admired. Just for a general out of character question, who's in the boat at this point? Who's visible to this?
Oh,
man?
we're all visible.
Okay.
Like, I'm now getting down.
Yeah,
I'm now
that's
getting
fine.
down.
He can look at all of you and go, "Well, yes." And then he'll look at the wall and see this newly distributed newspaper clipping and be like, "Ah, yes, I was there for that. That was. I know he's a friend, but that was quite funny."
You win some, you lose some.
Indeed, you do. Anyway, I will get down to the matter at hand as to why I have come. I believe what I have to say to you will be to your skills, something that I believe you would be successful at. And also I believe it would be of some great interest to you. And he looks at Orlan.
Well, if you've got something to say, then fucking say it. Like, I'm not scared, like, Mr. Blue Jacket.
I do not know, sir. Given your, he searches for the right word. Heritage. Are you familiar with the refugee situation within the city?
I like look at the other two, knowing that they know what I am now, and I'm like, you could say I am, very familiar.
Well, I have to say, there are some within this organization who do not take kindly to your kind.
No fucking shit. You just have to go to the camp and see that. Well done. I'm so glad you are detective.
They see you as criminals and the like. Maybe they are right in some cases. However, I am not.
In their defense, he is actually a criminal.
Please. Okay. He goes back to being a bit nervous at this. If you are familiar with the situation, then you will know how the society has treated these people, your people. And it would be of interest to you maybe to know that there is somebody within the Akarosi government, the Duskvold government, who is willing to help them.
I have heard of a sponsor. Who is this person? Tell me their name.
Yes, she has been quite public, I'm sure. Her name is Brina Skirkalon, as I'm sure you are aware. She has, as I say, been bit brash with her information. So again, speaking this, we can have like a group flashback, I guess, of you all. Like, if you hear the name, it's like this woman has been seen recently doing rallies, doing events, and also within the news as a senior figure within the Duskfall government,
What was her name
the
again?
central
Sorry.
government. Brina Skiercullen. I can type it in the chat later if you wish.
Yeah, please.
So she is a senior figure within the government who has been very vocal as to her support to the refugee movement. It hasn't been a long time since the war with Scotland ended, and the refugees have started to really come into force in the city, which has led to quite a lot of animosity to those who are already here and also towards the new refugees. However, this person is being essentially the voice, the local voice for against the violence and to try and include these people into the society. So again, that's what you know from remembering her name, and it's like, what? So you know that name? You know what she thinks of your people differently to how others within our society would. She's an ally. I'm sure you would agree.
I like nod, like slowly though, because I'm like hearing Acrossies pretend that there are allies, not common.
Well, as I've said before, she is not subtle about her views. She believes that the best way for her to be heard and for her to get her views across is to rally support publicly and through these mass events. And quite frankly, there are some of us within the Blue Coat Society who worry for her safety, whether that be from radical Duskfall city members who do not believe her ways, or even from your own people who may believe that she is not fully committed to the cause or that she is not right for them.
So what do you need from us?
Well, you have helped before, as I have said. I believe that there is a task that you could do for us now, which is privy to your skills. As I have said, this woman is very public with her knowledge, but she is also not very keen to share her itinerary with us. As I say, we fear for her safety. We wish that a diplomat, a senior political figure within our city, not come to any harm. But she believes that her best defense in this matter is to be discreet and to not share the information about where she's going to be until it happens. But obviously, within the law, there is not much we can do. We know that there are people outside the law who can get this information if they so desire it. And if she is not willing to share it with us, how can we be in the right place if we are needed? So, and again, he clenches his fist. You can tell this is sort of the moment he's come. This is where he's come to be like, yes, sorry.
If I want to see if someone's lying to me, what would I be rolling?
It's not, again, there's not really a skill for that. There is an ability that one particular playbook has, which is to tell if somebody's lying, but
there's no real roll I can make here. I just have to
not really, no. But you can, what I'll say is you can tell that this isn't, he doesn't seem like he's nervous. The nervousness that he's exhibiting is to be here and to be asking this of you rather than to be like trying to deceive you.
Okay.
Is what you can tell from what he's saying.
He's not as sketchy as he sounds. Got it.
No. So he's, again, the nervousness and like that is like he's having to come and essentially ask criminals for help.
That makes sense.
So he says, he's like, right, what I would like to ask of you is to try and acquire the information on her comings and goings over the next few weeks. There is a political drive coming. We believe that after this event, then the press will die down, so will the interest, but it is a time that is crucial to the safety of all of our ministers, all of our political figures. But she is not sure. All of them have published itineraries. She has not. And in order to make sure that everyone is protected, we need to have that information, if you know what I mean.
Now, don't get us wrong. We're certainly inclined to help and sympathetic to the Scovlander clause, and I and my associates here, we're charitable men, aren't we, gentlemen? We're charitable men, and I kind of look to you all for approval at that. But unfortunately, as you can see by our wonderful new and Aldrich points to like a drinks globe that's got like a crack in it, like that's very clearly been like just taken from like an antique shop. With our lovely new digs, we've clearly spent a lot of money. So, as much as we would like to help you in this endeavour, we're going to need some sugar, you know, sweeten the deal.
Well, again, he looks pointedly at Orlan at this point. You can tell he's a bit frustrated by that. He's like, well, is the safety of your people not the most important thing that you can think of right now? Especially given the current situation within the city.
Everything comes at a price.
You have my support, friend. You do not need to try and convince me. It is these other two that you must convince. Once I am,
Yes.
Once you mention my people, once you tell me that they need me, I will answer that call. However, I cannot speak for these two men. Like,
I'll tell you what, gentlemen. I may be here alone, but I'm not here in an unauthorized capacity. I have been sent here with certain offers that can be made to persuade you should such things be decided. If you bring me the information that I require, then I believe it can be made in your favor. I believe that your criminals are all about making money these days.
Sorry, when have criminals not been about making money?
The ones that kill people are not tend to be about making money, from my experience.
You're not a very good copper if that's what you think, my friend.
So,
but he's not going to say anything because he's here to try and get you on side.
couple bags of coin wouldn't go amiss, and a month of Silence's sentence for good behaviour.
Well, that's I mean, don't get me wrong, gentlemen. That can be done, but he's serving.
To go and do it then, hadn't you?
You don't let me finish, sir. He's serving quite a sentence a month. It would be like taking 1 grain of rice from a bowl and expecting you to have a less substantial meal.
We read the paper. What was his sentence for?
he has gone away for like a long time because he's
The
like,
sentence hasn't the paper hasn't specifically published how long he's been put away for, only that he's been named as like a lead conspirator in quite a large
I'm not trying to take off his whole sentence. I just you know, we need help.
Well, yeah, but if a month is a tiny percentage, then you might be worth trying for a bit more, is what I'm trying to allude to.
Try and get him parole.
I understand it might take you a couple of weeks to sort out, but maybe some kind of parole?
Assuming a month is a grain of sand, of course, then we'll go for the parole.
He's an upstanding member of the occult society. And I point to all the tarot cards that are sprawled on the wall. And frankly, we have no fucking idea if we touch those, if ghosts are going to explode. So, really, we need him.
He's also an expert in maritime law.
I was going to say, he has been helping pro bono a lot of local merchants and sailors. I think that they are quite displeased with you at the moment for taking away one of their assets.
So I understand that, you know, you can't just take him straight out, but maybe we can get him parole in the next 6 months, you know?
He sort of sits back thoughtful, like, The coin I can promise, gentlemen. That is not difficult. This is a more complicated issue.
Suddenly gone all Poirot.
I went to say complex, but it changed. Complicated.
All right, the coin will have to suffice for now, and we'll talk about Silas a little later.
If you cannot guarantee me Silas, like Orlan, like speaks out, like back, like if you cannot guarantee me Silas, you guarantee me Bigsby, and you call your and we call it even.
I just go, your mother. The coin is enough, and I stick my hand out again.
He looks again at Orlan, confused. It's like, you mean the general of the Imperial military? What?
Money.
He looks back at Aldrich. He's like, again, the coin I can promise. If you wish for me to look into your friend when we speak next, I can make some inquiries, and when we speak next, I can tell you what I've got and see if it helps.
I think then the real question, Aldrich, is whether you want to completely say yes to the offer or wait for him to come back and see what he can do first. I vote we do the latter.
Well, given this isn't a democracy and I'm the captain of this ship, and then he stares at Orlan, as we've established through certain familial ties, he turns back to the guy. The money'll do. Plus, we got to get moving on this if it's truly a risk to this politician. Go on, Copper. Get off my boat.
That is what we need. You find the information for us, and we will talk more then. Thank you.
Go on.
And he gets up at that point. Heads out again. Sort of as he leaves, he's got another sort of curious side look at Orlan. Like,
Was there something you wish
not
to
really
say?
sure. Nothing, sir. Nothing specific. Just
something in general, then.
Maybe nothing. Maybe something. But not for discussion now, please. I've
Excellent. Don't let the door hit you on the way out.
You'll get the promised reward if the task is delivered. And he leaves on those words.
I sort of wait until he's out the door, and then I turn around to Orlan and go, he knew a fucking lot about you.
I think it's just the hair. I don't think it is. But this woman will know a lot about me and Mama, so it is not good that she is at risk, especially if she could tell people where Mama is.
Well, you're going in a mask. Can't risk anyone recognizing you.
Right. So, you have the name of a person and some potential information that you wish to acquire from them. How do you wish to go about this, gentlemen? What do you wish to find out first in your gathering information phase, that we'll call it?
I will go gather information in the Centrilla Club about where Branina sort of has her place of residence in her office.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
You're going to go and consort, I assume.
Yeah, have an ease up with the lads.
Mm-hmm.
Find out where we're going. So, consort. What have I got in consort? 2. A 4.
Yeah, 4 is the highest roll you get. So yeah, you go into the Centrilla Club. You kind of boss around. Again, there are a few figures there that are talking politics, and you can tell from kind of budging shoulders, overhearing some conversations, chipping in, contributing, and fishing for information. This diplomat, Skier Callan, I'll call her, that's her surname, Skier Callan, has a residence in Charter Hall, which is the one of the much more upmarket districts of Duskfall. It's the district where the ministry tends to be, well, it is where the ministry is, it's where the politicians tend to live and work. It's where the ruling class essentially are, in the most literal sense. She has quite a grandiose residence there, and she has an office also with residence. She does her work from this district. So a lot of the politicians work this way. Their houses are not, they're not like they're separate offices. They tend to do a lot of their business from their place of residence because that's essentially where like people know them to be. They're quite large out, like I say, they're quite well-known locations within like the common hubbub of the city, and also like that's that politician's house. I need a meeting with them. Let's go there. That's kind of how it operates.
Cool.
So yeah, that's what you can find out. You can find out the address in Charter Hall for her residence.
Excellent.
And you know that to be her workplace as well.
Okay, cool. I will head down to the university and talk to various people that I know around the university, as well as the political department, the political science faculty. There's the word I'm looking for. And so see what they know about this person, how she operates, what her end goal seems to be, who she's affiliated with, how they're
Who our enemies
operating.
are.
Yeah.
Need to find out who our enemies are as well.
That
so
too.
we
Who are political rivals,
Yeah, that would be a consort roll from you as well, please.
Yeah, it's not going to go well because I don't have anything in it.
2 in the lowest.
Yeah, I'm going to find the chat channel. There we go.
Oh, I need to switch the OBS to the right. There we go.
Are you ready?
You can roll now. I'm ready.
Or you don't just leave that up, to be honest.
I
ready.
like not having it on there if we're just chatting.
Fair enough. 2 and 2.
2 and 2. So it's unfortunately
the lowest of 2.
Get a lot. The political science members that you go and speak to, they're talking about, oh yes, it's this new thing. It's not really been seen before from a minister within our government, of someone who speaks so openly, especially given what's gone on in recent years and coming up. Well, there are that's the kind of gist of the conversation. There are a few there that they've just refused to talk about it. There are quite a few, we'll say, that are just like, ugh, I don't care. They don't really give a shit. There are some that would like to see, oh yeah, they've been they would like to see her to succeed and to follow through with these promises that she seems to be making for the people of the refugees and for the Scotland people. There's a couple that you find that have really been following her work and know that, yeah, she's been pulling support from rallies that she's been doing around the city. She's been visiting the camps, and she really does genuinely seem to be interested in helping. But other than that, their information stops at sort of admiration. It doesn't really go beyond that. They're very much in awe of her, and it's like, oh yeah, they're just sort of fanboying. That's kind of the vibe you get from them. So you're not really getting a whole lot of information, unfortunately, from the academic. And again, nothing that no one can really tell you about anyone who might be opposing her, other than from the feel that you get of all the ones that kind of ignore you. She probably does have a pretty substantial. If she's got this much opposition here, then the fact it's not too hard to believe that it would also be present at her level of government. But again, that's the only real vibe you can get from that.
So the general vibe is they don't like her.
There are a few that do and hope that she'll do well, and obviously talk about how genuinely she's been helping and how she does. It's not like an act. She does genuinely see. She's been seen in public at events and also privately giving assistance where she can. So it's a genuine feeling of helpfulness, but only from those who really believe in what she's doing and admire her. So,
all right.
Cool. Orlan, what do you wish to do? Who are you mugging for information today?
No mugging, because I've just realised.
I don't believe you.
I go to Mother and ask her to set up a meeting with us.
That's true.
Tell Mother that we've had this blue coat come round, that we'd like to talk to her about it, and maybe if she doesn't feel like she can trust the blue coats, maybe she can trust white coats instead. Now, white coats are Scotland military.
Right. I was like, that's not a faction in the city, is it? No, it's not.
No, white coats would be what I wear. My jacket is my white military jacket, like the royalist Russians.
We're trying to find her schedule for the blue coats, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but if we can just literally meet her and talk about why she doesn't trust the blue coats, because my thing is, it sounds fucking weird to me that she doesn't want them around. Orlan's pulling this over in his mind, military tactics wise. This sounds like bottlenecking. If you can surround an area and get all those protesters in one area where they're all hyped up together and it's like a fizzing bottle, they'll all explode and something will go wrong. So that's why Orlan's What if we can earn money? What if we can earn money as her bodyguards?
You can set up this meeting absolutely with your mother. And
So yeah, I drop to one knee with the marshal in front of the tent, knowing that he fucking hates me and I hate him. Like,
on that note, it's worth noting that this camp won't be there in its capacity anymore. There will still be a camp, but she will not be in it, and it will be smaller. So the meeting that you'll have to set up with her will be in a more public place, but it will be like you could have an open park, and the marshal will be there, but will be sort of off to the side, and she'll be there like in quite fine clothes. Obviously, not in the same grandiose scene that you last saw her in, but still exerting the same presence that she did before.
Is this
I
just
imagine
you at the
her like
moment, or is
feeding
this?
the ducks. I imagine meeting her feeding the ducks.
Yeah, she's sort of on a bench overlooking one of the lakes in White Crow, one of the White Crown parks, I should say.
This is just you, yeah.
Yeah, for now.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Oh no. What's going on? Discord. Hello? We'll be back in a second. Let me just put it on.
you sort of turn.
I
see him
just
sort of
lost. I lost
speak.
you for like 10 minutes there, guys.
Minutes?
Not minutes. Like maybe like 2 minutes. Since you went
No.
to the camp, I lost you. So can you just?
Right. Okay. So yeah, we're setting up a meeting with Queen Anastasia to try and set up a meeting with this diplomat.
Yep.
Orlan has approached her. She's in this public park with the marshal stood nearby. Orlan approaches, asks to speak to her. You see the marshal kind of look at her. There is a few words exchanged, inaudible to you, and then he gives you the nod and gestures to the empty seat next to her.
Sit down straight and like, fine day we are having, Mama.
Yes, the future is looking brighter. But you have not called me here to discuss how well things are going.
It is a possibility, but I do see that there is the potential to rain on your parade. I wish to help you not have that. If you would let me help you.
She kind of smiles. It's to do with this Brina woman, is it not? You wish to know if she can be trusted?
Da, and I would like to speak to her about her uncooperative nature with the Blue Coats. Possible.
Well, I will give you this for free. She believes that the information is best kept secret. That is simply her way. It may be a stubborn view, but she does not want to share anything with the Bluecoats because it's like, well, if she can just keep her affairs secret, then no one will harm her. She seems to be blinded by the good cause, quite frankly. Don't get me wrong, I am happy with it. It's helping us. Her cause and her energy is going into helping us. But I fear that she does not have the same mind that you or I would have for this situation. She does not see the threats that I know you will.
And this is why I wish to speak to her. I wish to help her, if possible, with my associates.
She will not arrange meetings with people privately. This is one of her things about security. She believes it best to conduct things publicly or at very last-minute notice on her account. I see her only because I am the primary sponsor for her cause. But
So
normally she will not arrange to meet with you. She will simply do it if she wants to.
So
This is a nightmare for her security detail, as I'm sure you can imagine.
So she is not your sponsor that you mentioned.
Sponsor I use out of character, that was the wrong word. She is like helping the Scotland refugee movement.
But she's not the person who because she said Brianna, as in she's someone different from the person that she mentioned.
No, she went when she told her about you before. She said she was the sponsor, but it is the same person. So
Okay, sorry, that makes sense.
she met with me because we were in trouble, but she will only arrange meetings with people that she needs to speak to right then. She will not have meetings arranged for her.
Well, tell her that we have been. Maybe then you can get a message to her that we have been hired to steal her information.
She's going to give you a side look at that point, like,
So she can either tell us or we shall take it. It is one or the other, mother.
Let's just increase security around everything.
She snaps her fingers, and Marshall, you hear a sort of sliding of steel as he half produces a sword. You kind of glance and you see that as he's on the other side of you, and you look back.
I'm going to ask this question. I'm going to ask
You
this
will not speak of these things. You do not threaten her. She is helpful to us. Remember your place.
Is it Dad's sword that he's drawing towards me?
No, just a regular sword.
Yeah, good, because that was going straight up his ass if it was.
Yeah. You will remember your place. I am dealing with these affairs. However, the Bluecoats seem to have hired you to help. Sorry, Addison, you were saying something.
And I'm trying to help you, Mama. The Bluecoats obviously do not have some sort of other agenda, something like that. You do not understand. You were not there. Like, I was in the trenches with Father. Like, you cannot just sit there and tell me, like, that I do not understand. Like, everything I have done for our people, whether you like it or not. So do not get this fucking idiot to sit there and draw his sword on me, because otherwise I will murder him in this pond right now. Do you understand? And you have no idea how much I have sacrificed, how much I have done. So do not tell me about, like, honor and duty. I just want to help. Why do people keep threatening me?
Us people. Do not point your finger at me, child. Also, remember this. You may be good when it comes to war, and I defer to you on that front. However, the war is over. This is peacetime, and this is where I have always had control over the affairs of the people.
Yes,
I am dealing with this. If the Bluecoats wish to know her itinerary, then, quite frankly, I think that's a good thing. They can give us a bit more help. We are falling over ourselves at this point, trying to predict her next move. Quite frankly, it would be useful to know. So if they've hired you to do this for them, quite frankly, that shows some faith in the Scotland people that we have not been getting very much of lately. So I think you should take it. One other thing I can tell you about her. You obviously know of her residence in Charterhall.
I've heard of it, but I do not know the layout. But if you know anything, I would be
She may not arrange meetings privately without notice. However, I do know that there is an event taking place there tomorrow night that she will be in attendance of, as will several other people. If anything else, it might provide a good distraction. That is all I have, and that is all I risk giving you at this juncture. If there is nothing else, we should depart on this front.
Orlan, like, stands up and, like, with his back to her says, like, you would risk betraying her, someone who is helping you.
I would not, she says pointedly.
You would just have me do it instead. Duh.
Do you believe that it would help the people?
I believe that if you turn the one ally of the people on the people that... Mama, you talk about peacetime and war being different, but this is something that I have seen happen before, but I will defer to your judgment.
You notice from across the lake a sort of sign being waved.
I like to think in the back of your head, every time you talk about honor, there's just like you get a mental image of Aldrich just fucking dying.
We'll say that Giscard and Aldrich are both at this, like, if you focus, you can see them both on this other side of this lake. And yeah, Anastasia will stand up at this point as well and be like, I do not wish to betray our ally, son. I simply wish to protect her. You have skills that I do not, and you can achieve this goal. The Bluecoats have your support. That is good. They want to protect her too. We should roll with that. Will you carry out this task for them and for me?
For you, Mama, anything. For the Bluecoats, as long as they pay me.
She chuckles at that point. That's my boy. And she
Just,
walks away at that point.
just so you're aware, Orlan is silently seething because he can see where his sister gets it from. Like he can see, and he's like, so again, walks onto the thing, walks onto the boat, like picks up the nearest piece of like old furniture, and it's just like, "Ah!" like it goes against the wall, like.
Oh,
Just to very quickly address chat for a second, Thunder Knight, if we make Twitch affiliate, I will definitely create an emote of Aldrich waving a money sign angrily.
yes. Yes, you will.
Nice.
Oh,
Thank you for the
That's
suggestion,
brilliant.
Thunder Knight.
so that is the location. Obviously, you've got a time now for. You don't again from if you can meet up and talk about this. The information you've gathered is you don't really have any information as to where she comes and goes because everything she does is very spontaneous. But obviously, the only piece of information you've really been able to gather, which is that you know where she'll be and when, is this event that's happening at the house, which will be say 24 hours from where you have the conversation where you meet up again.
I mean, I do have an alternate plan to get her out of her house.
Is it pull the
Does
house
it
down?
involve a peanut sheller sent to a house as a gift?
It does involve a trebuchet and a glass bottle full of flammable liquid and a match.
We could just
And
break in
some
tradition.
careful
Orlan,
testing and
how
some
do you-
careful testing and calibration so that it throws it onto the roof.
Orlan, how do you feel about Giscard potentially murdering the one ally in the Akaros government?
No, it'll be fine because you guys will be in the street ready to scream and shout, "Oh my god, a fire!" and wake her up.
No one will be asleep. It's an event.
I like wave my hand at that and like, Mama says that although she is strange and she is odd, that she is helpful. So maybe not set her house on fire and instead maybe take the, and I look at Aldrich like for a second and like squint at him, take the Booker approach to things.
Well, I have wanted to break out that tuxedo again, boys.
Cool. That sounds like we're heading into the score, gents. So, what's your plan here?
Deception, and our point of entry is that party.
So yeah,
Well, I guess
the detail is the deception will be: are you attending as guests? Are you attending as staff? What's
Yeah,
going
that
on?
depends. Does that count more as social, or does that count more as a deception to get us in the party?
So this is the social. This is actually. So the social element will probably be, I will say, is guests. Deception will probably be more if you're attending as staff, and it'll be the detail that's specific will dictate the plan.
I want to go as guests.
I will
I
go as
say so.
staff because although I could blend into this, I think I would be better as a staff member here.
Yeah, but you're a science boy. You can come in as a guest. That would make sense.
I have nothing in attune, consort, sway, or command. So yeah.
You can do group actions to
Yeah,
help,
well,
like
I think it's
like
best if we go as guests.
guests. So that'll be more
Oh,
social.
But staff could be useful to have.
There's
Feel
always,
free to set it up in flashbacks.
yeah, we can always bribe staff and stuff. Like, I have a feeling that if she wants to show Scotlanders doing well, she'll have Scotlander staff.
I also
Like-
probably, if she can recognise the Queen of Scotland, she could probably recognise the Prince, and then it's going to be very fucking obvious if the man handing her a drink is the Prince.
No, I mean
of
we
Scotland.
take a two-pronged approach.
Oh,
no,
you want to go
As in me,
separate?
I would go in. Yeah, I would go in as staff,
We can do
whereas the
that.
rest, you guys could go in as not staff. But also, that's a good point. All and walking in might be a bloody obvious thing.
Oh well,
Might
I will
get
go.
it.
Yeah,
I
do you
will
maybe
go
want to
in-
go in
recognized.
as all staff then, if that would be a bit more subtle?
No, I think it's.
No,
I
no.
think that's an asset to us. If we've got the Prince and she's the former, like she likes the Scotland, she might be sympathetic and let him in on purpose, and be less bothered about where his invitation comes from.
Also, as well, I'd probably go with my mother.
This is
Like,
my
I would,
tuxedo.
I would accompany my mother, wouldn't I? If we were doing it properly, like high society ball, like I would be my mother's chaperone. as
Maybe you
the
would go
oldest
instead
son.
of your mother. Maybe that's what our in is. You're here on behalf of her. She can't. make it.
Okay, maybe if that's
Yeah,
what she.
your mama did not say specifically she was going to be there, did she? So
I would need to borrow Dad's sword for this.
So, are we doing guests?
I think,
two
yeah.
guests, one staff.
2 guests, 1 staff. So we'll do this as 1 engagement roll, because then we can all see how well everyone's how well everyone's got on into fitting into their roles. So, start as always, boys. 1d6 for sheer luck. A particularly bold or daring a plan?
Not really.
No,
Not
we're
really,
thinking
I think
about
A
it.
little bit, because this
Lots-
woman doesn't invite people randomly around and do things on the fly, does she? She just does everything on the fly.
I think the most daring thing about this is like me playing my hand. Is Orlan playing his hand and letting people know that he's the prince.
Yeah, I'm
Like-
convinced. Overly complex, contingent on many factors? Not really.
No.
Exposing a vulnerability or hitting the target where they're weakest? Arguably, yes, because
Oh, okay. You could.
this is the one. I would say arguably yes, because it's actually no, because you've been told about this by privately, so no.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we go.
yeah.
To our house.
Any defenses or special preparations? Probably not again. You consulted, I believe,
did.
Aldrich.
For
did.
my yeah.
Weaving the web. That's a 3d6 as I make it, gents. So we see how well you will get on at your social deception type entry into this private event in Charter Hall.
I'm just going to at this juncture say that me and Orlan are going in as 2 separate guests. I'm going to go in via the inebriati route.
Okay.
I go in like full. Oh, not bad.
It's not terrible.
That's pretty good.
So, describe to me how you all enter the party. How do you all get in?
So, Orlan gets his like dress clothes out again, which is like his uniform, his like dress uniform, as a prince with all his medals. Puts them all on. Goes to Mum, asks for Dad's sword, and like wears that at its side. I will go with a light load of and have that as my I would say fine weapon, because it's like finely made. It's like a dual. It's got 2 blades to one hand.
Well, you can. I mean, if you're going normal, like without ticking anything off, going normal, you would look armed. So you could go. You could go armed and armed with that ornately, and look normal and be normal load rather than light load.
Okay, then I'll do that then. Sorry. So, but yeah, I'll be armed with that at my side, like looking red hair on full display, like all washed up.
Yeah.
Have my medals on display, and yeah, just pretty much waltz right in as a representative of old Goblin nobles, stuff like that. Kind of like when the Dowager Duchess and from Russia left after World War One. Like,
yeah, fair enough. Aldrich, how are you getting in?
Well, I am the day of the delightful Lady Cudgel, who is a widower in her late 80s, who happens to be part of the inebriati. She prefers sherry over the usual pints that we have.
This cult just accepts anyone, doesn't it?
Cult? You say cult, I say loving secret society full of friendship.
Yeah, she's doing a pretty good job of selling it. That was my role, by the way, guys.
Lady Cudgel.
Giscard, how are you getting in?
I will go in not as head butler, but second in command to the head butler, so I'm not overly burdened with stuff to do, but can still move around sort of freely.
party planner assistant.
Yeah, something like that. We'll be directing the minions around, as well as bringing things out to the guests as required. for the? I'm assuming it's a sit-down meal, right?
It's a more like a ballroom type thing, like a stand-up, walk around, socialize type event.
Oh, okay. So there's not going to be like a sit-down type meal.
No.
Oh, okay.
So we'll play this scene out then. So you all enter into this event at the time. Giscard, you kind of find you leave the others out the front where sort of some people are mingling. You go off around the side. You find an entrance.
I would approach completely separately from them. So
Yeah, that's what I mean. You separate from them at some point.
yeah.
And you approach. You go off and find a different entrance. You go in through the back to the servants. You manage to slink your way in, and you find. We'll say actually no. There is a slight complication from this engagement. So what we'll say is you come across a gent who sort of is, what the hell are you doing here? And then you knock him out and steal his uniform. You hide him somewhere, but he's now knocked out. That's the slight complication. There could.
Oh, I see. Okay, right.
There is a slight complication in this.
We'll make sure he's
And the other
tied
two
up well.
Yes. So you have his uniform, but yeah, there is now an unconscious man somewhere in the house.
I have
So-
put him in the coal bunker outside. It's fine. They'll find him when it gets cold, right?
Okay. So the others enter through the front door, and we'll say that Aldrich enters first with his sort of lady on his arm, quite hunched. She's moving quite slowly. It takes a while for her to get through the door.
As I hand my invitation, I'm laughing at a joke that she hasn't actually made, just so I don't have to speak to the man. So until I've just passed the guy.
They're not so much invitations. It's more just like if people are there, they've obviously been invited. So he's just ushering people in. Then you go in. It's not a huge event. There are a few people there. There are drinks. There are a few waiters. You do notice as you enter Giscard, kind of standing at the back, of observing the scene. And then
I would wait till it's towards the end of the queue, because I'm gonna have them introduce me by my full title.
Well, everyone's in there. You go up to the door at that point, having waited to the last, and the man sort of looks at you he looks you up and down as if and gives you a sort of just points at the door. Really, they're not. You've noticed they haven't announced anyone that's entered this party, so he's not over there. He's just there to make sure that the doors get closed afterwards. So, but if he's like.
You would do well to heed me, friend, and introduce me as is beneficial of my rank. Thank you. I'd like to make a command roll on this guy as I stand up straighter, and
Okay.
I would like you to introduce me as Piotr Orland Welka Skovlandovich, Prince of Scotland. Thank you.
Okay.
Because
That's a command roll.
Because basically, I want to get attention, or I want to get everybody's attention. 2d6.
Okay.
Come on. There's a 5.
There's a 5. So he'll be like, I'll do this for you at cost.
How
Minus
about the
one
cost?
coin from the score if you wish to have him announce you.
Yeah, because it's gonna serve the others better at
Cool.
What was the cost? Sorry.
One coin less from the end of the score. Much obliged. He walks through the door and he doesn't have anything to announce you. He just raps on the wall. Everyone's attention turns to you and he spreads his arms wide and he goes, I guess this guy. And he says your full title, but it's kind of he's like at the end of the day, you just paid him to do this. He's already got some money. He's not really going to be selling it. But he's like, yeah, he does announce you, and everyone turns and they sort of look at him a bit weird, and then they look at you as you walk through. I guess wearing your fine clothes and with your sword at your side. Do you say anything when you walk in?
Das Vidania. It is good to see you all celebrating the helping of my people. I have come on behalf of what was once my family. I am very appreciative of all your important help. If there is any question as to my lineage, you may answer to Lady Brianna. I will seek her out momentarily. Thank you for your time. I go towards the bar because you see Orlan looks very uncomfortable. Like, like I didn't like this bit. This was the bit I didn't like. So he like heads straight to a bar, basically, like waiting for basically.
So there's like a table. There's like a food table, and there are drinks on it, and there are also waiters walking around with drinks. As you do sort of head there, one of the crowd sort of peels away and comes up to you. It's this female figure dressed in a sort of it's a casual, but it's a business suit. And she walks up to you and is like, What's this? I'm sorry, what's going on?
I have come to represent my people at this event for my people. I did not think that would be confusing as it seems to be, lady. And I like look at her like trying to get her name.
My name is Lady Skill. I can't remember her name. This is the woman. I can't. It's a very complicated surname I gave her for some reason. Skill Callanan, I think.
Yeah.
My mother sends her regards, ladies. Skivskallon.
Yes, fine woman. What do you wish? Do you wish to discuss business? Because this isn't really where I had planned to do it.
Yes, I would if you do not mind, but please let us mingle first. Maybe seeing me can help you gather people to the cause. Knowing that I am still alive, that the future of Skovlander is secure, may help others to be more liberal in their donation. Huh?
Yes, fine. If you wish to discuss business, let us do the rounds. You can meet my friends. You can meet. Yes, come on. I'll introduce you, and then we must discuss business.
Thank you very much.
So she takes you around the room at this point. She's sort of you're parading around. She uses this. She's like, as she sort of moves you away from her, she's like, this is good. Yes, this is good. We can use this. And she goes off and she starts giving this story to the individuals that she goes to, of like the incredible work that we're doing, and look at the support we have. Like this is the relationship we're going to build for the future of this nation, the future of our city, and the future of the people within it. All people within it. And it's this big sort of grand talk of like, look at how the important people in both sides are going to come together, basically. She gets up to the guests, this quite elderly woman in the pub, and she's like, and she sees her, and she's like, I'm sorry, do I know you? And she looks at Aldrich as well. This is the woman that you've got. I'm sorry, were you invited? I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm here as Lady Cudgel's guest, but I think we do know each other. Flashback.
Okay, flashback.
Orlan has been schmoozing around with any person he can find, any like slightly related to Brianna Scallon, and has been trying to find out if she's got any kind of hobby or any kind of collection of things. Like, if she's really into sea turtles, maybe she's got like a bunch of like taxidermied sea turtles. Or maybe she's into like maps of the world and she's got like a million of those. Like literally like any little hook that you can use. Like anything like that. Maybe she likes finger painting or some bollock. I don't know. Just something that you should have a collection of. He's been trying to find.
Yep. So if you will say that where are you flashbacking to specifically?
He's been asking around the Centrilla Club. That's kind of where he's gained a lot of information because she's an MP, right? So
yeah, that's fine. So I'll make that consort check if you've been checking around that.
Excellent.
I'm willing to assist with that if you need it, Ben.
Oh, I'll take an assist.
Yeah, I'll say that I've been looking around as well.
You were asking your mother and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it. Oh, did that not work?
There we go.
There it goes.
Oh, it's 5. So yeah, so you find out from your consorting in this flashback that she's again. You probably when you hear this, you're like, oh yeah, that's actually quite obvious. She's big into art, and specifically art from the region of Scotland. So the style of painting that's used there, the style of sort of sculpture that they tend to use there, which I guess would be old, like if you imagine like old European Russian type drawings and figures. that's the sort of thing she has, and she's big into like she's always out on got her ear to the ground for anyone that's got anything even resembling something of that style. And we'll flash back to the present at that point.
We met
She
at
must be-
an auction for what was it? Some Scotlander artist. What was his name? You said he was one of the greats. You said you had such a great collection, and I should pop round to see it one day. I have to admit you were quite intoxicated at that point in the evening.
Oh well, again, she's all a bit nervous at that point. She's like, oh, yes, probably. Maybe I was. Yes,
Master Booker, by the way.
Oh yes, charmed, I'm sure.
It is great to
wish-
meet you, Master Booker. I like all of that puts his hand out.
If you wish to see my collection, I mean, there's like, I have some private pieces that I keep in my office upstairs.
Oh,
I wish to see them later.
I would love to. And Mr. Sorry, your how do you address a prince in the Scotland Isles?
I believe in your tongue it is your grace.
Your Grace, would you like to join us to see some of the art of your people? I know a lot of it can be considered brutish and dull, but I, for one, can see the beauty in its simplicity.
I have chosen to accompany our host around the room, but maybe afterwards and after, I would very much like to discuss further with you, Master Booker.
This will be the last guest, I'll say, because she's the one. She went to everyone she knew first and found you last, so there was no one else to see out of character.
Let me just, me and our host have one last thing to do. I shall see you soon. We are talking about the future and how we wish to move forward with our cause.
Well, I'm always happy to help with the cause. I think, maybe we could all have a chat at once.
Maybe when you're invited to the table, Mr. Booker.
Can I be hovering around with a tray of drinks or something at this point, overhearing this?
Yeah, you could be like you could walk up at that point of drinks, and as you see,
I mean, hovering around in the background just to have overheard,
Yeah, well, she like again, you can be standing in the background like subtly, but still holding a drink. She'll kind of turn to where you are, take a drink, and she's watching. She's observing this interaction between the two of like, I'm sorry, do you know each other?
No, never seen him in my life.
No, I just think that Mr. Booker is eager to support us, and I would like his support. So I wish to be friendly with him. This is how we do things here. Duh.
I go to shake Orland's hand, but I make it so it's very obvious he can feel the steel of the concealed pistol.
I like it. So you can do that. So she'll look at Orland at this point and go, listen, this event isn't going to last forever, but it's at least going to go on for a little while longer. If you wish to discuss the business, then I will gladly take a little bit of time out and we can go and have a chat now. And then we can come back, we can finish the night on a note. Tell you what, sir, seeing as you're there, if you wish to support us as well, we're always looking for that support. Like you can tell, I'm sure you've heard the opposition that we get from everyone. Someone of your incredible influence and wealth, I'm sure, from your extensive collection. You must be I'll tell you what, if we go and discuss business, you can come with us, and you can have a view at my collection while you wait for us to conclude. And then you can come in and we can talk a bit more. How does that sound?
Oh, that sounds delightful, delightful. Thank you for being so kind. And you too.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I only wish to invite. She's like saying like, oh yeah, she's heard that you want to support her, so she's like, oh my god, yeah, I need to get in on like I need to milk that. Yes, okay. Tell you what, both of you, if you'd like to come with me, she points at gift card at this point.
I was going to say just before we go any further, what was the timescale and lead up to this? How many days did we have to get?
We just had 24 hours to get.
You only had 24 hours.
Okay, fair enough. I was going to have a flashback, but I can't because there isn't enough time to flashback it. Do what I wanted to do. So
you could do a flashback to an earlier time, but if it's an action you want to set up a few days in advance, then
it's an action for this. It was was going to aid, but it's not going to
Yeah.
work. Shit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fine. So, you two, she's like, come, tell you what, come with us. And she points at Giscard, and she's like, we're going to need some refreshments brought upstairs for our 2 guests. We've got some slight business to attend. It won't be long, but one of them is going to be predisposed for a while, so I want him to be refreshed. So if you could please follow us upstairs.
Certainly, madam. And, I
Please.
shall wheel around on a heel and disappear off to grab some refreshments.
Oh, excellent. We'll have a go around. Come on, we'll head up to my office. We'll have to do this quick. She leads the 2 of you upstairs. She'll hang back, make sure that Giscard is following. I assume you will
I will
emerge.
be after you guys have got up there, so I will bring, I don't know, two other servers with me for partly for directions, partly for hands for entrees and stuff. I'll bring up some drinks, and then I'll dismiss the others too that I bring with me.
I gesture
Yep,
for
so
all to
she'll-
go first.
So she'll take you into upstairs into a sort of big open room, and there'll be a door. You walk out into this big, it's a viewing room, as you can tell, like a sort of foyer. But
Does
yeah,
all
you're
of
gonna
go
say
first if I let him go first?
yeah, Orlan goes first. if you
Yeah,
let him.
I go
I
first.
step on
go,
your
I
heel
go-
as we're walking down. As we're walking down the corridor, I'm just
Make a finesse roll. For
Aldrich's
the hell of
just being very petty.
For the hell of it, make a finesse roll.
I'll take the finesse roll to step on his heel. That's fine.
Don't biff it.
I got finesse now, bro. I know
You
what
got
I'm doing.
finesse now.
Yeah,
You'll
I'm
be fine.
finesse, bro. 6.
Oh yes.
I want his shoes
I
off.
need to do some trading.
Look, you want
You know when you step on someone's heel, when you accidentally step on someone's heel,
Yeah, you
sometimes
give
the
a flat
shoe
foot.
comes off with them.
Oh yeah, yeah. So all that happens. Orlan's like hopping for a second. There's like, what? And she kind of walks off ahead, but she
Oh,
brings you. Well, as this
terribly
happens, she
sorry.
brings you up to this open.
I like, look at him for a second. I'd like to flash back to when he did the thing with the
Mhm.
gun to show me it. So I would like to basically, instead of taking his hand, like do the
Oh,
Beastmaster thing, which is like the sculpt one, yeah, and like apply pressure to basically break the.
Okay, you want to do that as a flashback?
Yeah, skirmish.
I'm calling that wreck.
Oh, Rex, fine. I'll do
Trying to
that.
break
Give it a squeeze, break the mechanism that makes
Yeah.
it do its thing.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm sure that won't make it go off if you roll poorly.
Yeah, you've just tried to assassinate a foreign dignitary. If that's the case, that's what I'm saying.
It can't actually go off if
Go on
that's
then,
the case,
Anderson.
because we
Roll
already walked past that and flashbacks can't change.
4.
So you will have to flash back to that moment. You feel that mechanism, and you give it a good old through. Aldrich kind of realizes that you're putting a lot of pressure on, jerks away. Aldrich, you may or may not have a concealed palm pistol that works, but you may or may not have to find out if it does. So we'll cut back to the present.
As long
So
as it looks
Brian-
like it works,
Brina leads you all upstairs, waiting for Giscard to bring the refreshments. He brings them up into this like, sort of open viewing area. Giscard comes in, sort of with the 2 servants. They set the trays down, dismiss them, and you sort of stand there like, please, sis, please keep our guest entertained. You can have there's quite some fine pieces here. You have a look. We will discuss our business. She gestures at Orlan, and then we will question you in. And then we can all have some good times together. Does that sound good? She's quite nervous at this point. You've interrupted her. What was supposed to be, you feel like a relaxing evening for her, but it's kind of been interrupted by your presence.
Oh, that sounds delightful. I'm very interested in the artwork.
well,
Can your man stay for a second? He might be able to tell me about some of these pieces.
Can I offer anybody a drink?
Oh, please, yes. You tell you what. She points at Orlan. You come on. Let's go to my office and we'll discuss business.
Of course. Thank you very much for your support of me and my mother. I will immediately come to you and
Cool.
speak business.
So she gets to the office, and like she sort of stops at the door, turns and waits for you, and she turns at the door and just stops moving. She looks quite intently, and she's like, I'm sorry. She puts her hand on the flat of the door and pushes, and it opens. This is unlocked. I could have sworn No matter. She pushes the flat of the door open. And she turns and gestures at you. And waves. And I sort of, as she's waving, her hand goes a bit limp. And she sort of collapses backwards onto the floor. And you can see, if the door has opened at this point, she's opened it fully. And if you're looking down into this room, you can see that there's a figure standing at a desk with a window behind them, kind of illuminating the room in moonlight. Big ornate desk that you can see, bookshelves on one side, and then sort of more filing cabinets and shelves, and a door on the other side. The door is ajar.
I thought you said it was a jewel.
Yes, gift card.
Orlan can obviously see this. Can we see this? And would we
You
have
can
noticed?
see, if
Would
you're
we have
in the room,
noticed
if
the
you're in this
collapse?
viewing room, you can see that the door's opened and the woman's collapsed. And yeah, you can, if you wanted to just reposition, you can look in.
Yeah, as she would collapse, I think I would feign shock and beeline straight over there.
Okay. So we'll say as you're moving, though, we'll set the scene
Yeah,
still.
so-
So this figure is
It'll be
this figure is
Orlan to
still,
react.
yeah, figure in this room, and there's like a door that's ajar. This figure holding what looks like a blowpipe, and they drop as they see this woman collapse. They'll sort of drop their hands and go, "Huh, I was aiming for you, actually." And they'll step forward at this point.
Give us a sec here, guys. The internet is dying again. I'm going to take you to the flash screen and then try and redial in. I'll be back in a second. What's going on today?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, that's not it being dead. That's it working.
I have said we're back.
We
Yeah.
might be back. We
Can't
might be
beat
back,
us.
boys. We might be back right now. So you are in the Big
Right.
Brother house. Please do not swear. Or swear. I mean, we swear a lot on this stream.
Bollocks.
We swear all the time.
Do
What
not
you
say
We swear
fuck
like
or
sailors.
bugger.
Can someone see if the stream's all back? and
Yeah,
everything?
streams.
No! Discord! Fuck it. What a fucking piece of technology. What is going on?
on the stream.
God.
And right at that juncture. So
Right.
what
It's gone again. It's gone. Just Discord has disappeared again. What is going on tonight? Right, guys. I don't know what to do. Discord just keeps genuinely dying. God damn it. I'll try one more time. I'm going to put you back to the music screen and try one more time, and then we might have to call it quits. But please stand by.
are you on like a panic screen? Or like
Bro,
a temporary...
what the Discord like literally closes down and I can hear you for a few seconds and it's gone. But oh no, now none of the stream overlay bits are working.
Sorry, mate.
Oh, where's Panic?
If we want to finish this encounter, by the way, guys, it's not
Panic.
going to be a short one.
Panic works, right? Sick, done. We can
Oh.
play. We've not
I
got the
can hear
fancy
you all
stream
again.
overlay because it's died a death, but
Right.
we can play in the Panic screen. Sorry, the stream overlay's gone and you won't be able to see the dice rolls, so we'll just have to call them out. But Discord is dead.
Right.
You make it.
Okay.
I'll put me up.
Sorry about this, guys. We're having unforeseen technical difficulties that we've never had before.
This
But-
isn't the first time. A lot of people have been struggling with Twitch.
Yeah. For some reason, it's happened.
Discord's never just died like that on me before, which is weird. But let's
Yeah,
jump back
I
into
think
it. There was a
that
dude
Discord.
behind the
Okay.
table, and it was getting super tense, and I was really into it. And
Sorry.
then Discord
I
died.
will set that scene again, but I'll ask this first. From the consensus of everyone, are we okay to push this till about 9:45?
Yeah, that should be fun.
Good for
I'm
me.
good.
Yep. Okay. So we've got the woman, Brina has collapsed. There's a figure holding a blowpipe in the office. And she says, I was aiming for you, brother. And pulls back her cap to reveal a long red ponytail.
Good evening, sister. It is good to see you. Now, if you do not mind, step away from that fucking desk before I run you through. I like draw Dad's sword, like like in front of.
I'm gonna get out my palm
Okay.
pistol, my broken palm pistol.
It appears in your hand at least. Let's try firing it, maybe. But so, are you all visible at that point?
Oh yeah, Giscard's gonna ruin your party though.
Is this card all visible?
But
Yeah,
he's,
we're all visible.
he's,
He's pretending to be over the person, aren't you?
Yeah.
No, I was making a beeline for the door. Scene was being set. That's where we're at.
Right. Oh, this is awkward. This was supposed to be smoother than this. But, well. We have contingencies. First, though, I will ask this. Brother, when we spoke last, I was truthful. I told you that I wished to see these people, see our people, helped by the Akaros, and I still do. However, I believe we have different views as to what that looks like. I wish to help them by showing them that the way of these people is the better way. Ones like this, she gestures at the body, they wish to show them that their history should be treasured. Oh, one day they will see. But for the immediate situation, it appears we have this to deal with. She gestures at the two of you. What say you? Do we settle this honorably? You still have that in you, I believe.
Please just let me shoot her.
What is your are you going to send your husband to come deal with me? What, Mrs. Bixby? Like,
Oh,
I thought Scotland
I
I thought Scotland ways were barbaric and horrible. Like, surely women do not fight in Akaros, no?
But as you have already pointed out, I abandoned our ways. But I did not. I still fight. I am my own person. You think I am some sissy that gets told what to do and rolls over for men.
I was thinking, I thought more bird and cage, but do what you will with
Oh,
your.
you will regret saying that, brother. But first, for your two companions, we have something, shall we say, to sweeten the little encounter. Spice up the party.
I would probably be well stood behind the pair of them at the moment, with a hand-in jacket.
Behind Aldrich and
Yeah.
Orlan. So she snaps her fingers, and from a side door in this office, you hear a sort of creaking noise, and two figures emerge from that side door.
Oh, I pull a gun out straight away.
I'll say that first. The first figure you recognize is Cobb. I say recognize because he doesn't look like the last time you saw him. And the reason why is because his left eye is swollen shut from a large bruise. He has an equally large bruise on the other side of his face. He's missing a couple of teeth on the side. He's got blood dripping down his face. He appears to be breathing very heavily and moving slowly. And you'll notice that he is one of the two figures, and the other figure is holding him by the throat. And as your eyes move up from Cobb's face, battered and bruised, up to this other figure, you'll realize that this is a face you recognize as well. You last saw this figure face down on a dockside, being arrested by the Bluecoats after you had just robbed the Spirit Warden crematorium.
This is the guy that I anchored my ship to his neck, isn't it? Oh, Discord, no! Discord! Don't do this to me! Fuck. Ah! Right, oh god. Guys, it's happening again. I don't.
Whose brother that is? Does he not? Does he
sorry,
not
sorry.
wish for
The
his
stream
life?
cut out again. Discord is dying. The guy that we attached a boat to is the last thing I heard.
No, it's not the guy who we attached the boat to. It's the guy who got away because you killed the guy with the boat with the anchor. It's
That's
the
fine.
guy who was on the
I
other
can't
side.
believe that my good twist is getting fucked by internet issues.
Your good this is the best twist we've had, and it's just constant internet fuck ups.
Oh, I'm so upset right now.
I was gonna say, it's back up.
Good, thank you for that.
Please
Mate,
continue.
Please continue. So he's holding your friend, beaten, and he's looking at you with absolute venom.
He does realize whose brother that is, does he not? Like if he kills that boy, he realizes that he has the whole of what is that gang called again? On his back, like
Boys, all I really he hears you saying this, and he's like, "Boys, all I really care about at this stage is
Well,
filling you all with some pain.
You do
I'm
realise
gonna
you've
You
been
took
called.
all of my friends.
I'm going to gently start stepping backwards, but like
do not throw
slowly
a
enough,
flashbang in here because I need to get her.
He sees you
slowly
moving.
enough, slowly enough to be not noticed. Just
He does see you disappearing behind the door, and he grips Cobb's neck tighter, and he goes, "You fucking stay where you are. I want to
Gents.
see all of your faces when this boy's life ends."
Gents, let's calm this down. You're an Akarossi, and then I would like to produce my fine bottle of brandy from my my coat. You're an Akarossi.
Okay. How's that going to work in this situation? I wonder. Let's see.
Surely you'll allow the boy a final drink. It's only fair.
You kidding me? He can have his final drink if he survives the next 5 minutes. And he pulls from another hand. He's got his arm now. He pulls from his pocket a thick wad of documents. And he looks towards Mercy. And she looks at him. At this point,
they've glanced at each other, so they're not looking at us, right?
If he looks away, I'm gonna glass
Oh
him.
yeah. You're gonna try and glass him, and
He's about 10 foot away.
I'm gonna throw a flashbang in the room.
You can throw a
Why are
whole
you gonna
bottle.
throw?
I'm not letting Cobb die. He's our little drunk friend. The drunk
So he's
might be
about
our
10
fault.
foot away. You have to charge him.
I'll charge him. I'll take
Yeah,
a devil's
right.
bargain to be on top of him and whatever. Like he ain't killing Cobb. I'll allow this, Jordan.
Right. Okay, then. I would hope you would not allow this. So you were going to charge towards him.
The Aussie special. I'm gonna glass the.
Well,
Don't say. Do you want your church banned, Benjamin?
What?
oh look, like
Oh, I
fucking
don't.
sticks and stones
Oh
break
god, I
bones, but
can't
words
roll
never
because
hurt
I can't get off of the.
you. Yeah, well, I can chuck a roll in for you.
Yeah.
Okay, what are you rolling? How many dice are you rolling for?
Skirmish. I'll take whatever devil's bargain you've got. So that's one, and then a devil's bargain dice if you can give me.
I would say the devil's bargain is that the palm pistol definitely doesn't work once you're on top of him.
Yeah, I would say that that's an agreement.
I'll
You
work
don't know
for
that, but yeah, that won't work if you try and use it.
I can just roll
2d6?
some physical dice.
How many
literally
d6?
nothing will show on the stream. The issue is
That's
many-
fine, but I
now
can
that
at least
it's
chuck it
broken
down.
through.
So
Yeah.
One d6 because he's taken the devil's bargain. so
No,
it's
it's 2d6 in total.
Okay, 2d6
I've
total.
got
you
one.
have a 6 and a 3.
That's a 6.
At the same time you act, can I throw a flashbang in there? Because that's what
Well,
this
let
guy's
this
gonna
unroll.
do.
I'll let this unfold.
Everybody having a
first.
flashbang, you'll probably end up hitting him just as the flashbang lands.
I'll let this
No.
unfold first. So what happens is, you see he produces these documents and glances towards Mercy, and then Aldrich starts to charge. And in those couple of seconds that you have before you get to him, Mercy will look and sort of say, "Get those out of here. I'll deal with these." And he'll, at that point, turn to leave, dragging Cobb round by the neck, and he will turn to leave. And as he spins, you will batter into him, and you will all go sprawling through the door. That's how that ends. That's how that will end for now.
Okay.
Giscard, what do you want to do?
As I've said, off the bandolier, throw it in the room.
Cool.
You're gonna flashbang me
Just a
and
quick
Cobb.
question. Just a
And
quick
me.
point about Mercy. I'm going to play this now. Anyone that's rolling to try and hurt her is rolling in a desperate situation because she is trained and attuned to this situation.
She's
But
fucking
suddenly she's not going to be
good.
able to say anything in a second, so we'll see how this goes.
What are you rolling for this?
It'll be Tinker, wouldn't it? For your bandolier. I thought those were all Tinker.
Tinker or wreck?
Tinker fits better.
Yeah.
I think.
All right.
So desperate position because you're trying to unseat her. Normal effect.
1, 6, and 3.
1, 6, and 3. So as she looks across towards this man, get those out of here. She says, "I'll deal with these." And she hears this clattering noise, and with almost a sort of train, she notices it. She recognizes what it is, and with a trained eye and a trained body, she spins around and covers her head and ducks down as it detonates.
I would like to
Bright
activate.
red light and a ear-splitting sound fill the room. Say again, Orlan.
I would like to activate not to be trifled with as that goes off.
Can you say it in
Okay.
a Cockney accent though, just for my own personal gratification?
I'm not to be trifled with. Like,
What does that do again? Remind me.
so you can push yourself to do one of the following: perform a feat of physical force that verges on the superhuman, or engage a small gun on equal footing. So I want to use the superhuman thing. You said there was a window behind her, right?
Mm-hmm.
To basically push through the flashbang and fucking charge her out the window, like rugby tackle her through the window.
Okay, it's worth noting before you want to commit to that, you are on the first floor.
That's fine.
Okay,
I think he's trying to get a landing pad as he goes, right?
the other thing I'll say is this. So, I've started a progress clock for breaking the defense. It's a tug of war clock. It can go one way or the other depending on how well or badly you roll. And it's a clock to essentially every action you take to try and inflict harm on this character will weaken her defense. So because she reacted to this flashbang, it's one tick on this clock. It's an 8-piece clock, and it's one tick from this flashbang.
Okay.
So
Orlan, what's your action?
To try and skirmish, obviously, because I just like throw the sword down, seeing that, and just like through the window.
I would say with you could roll skirmish, but in a desperate position with limited effect, or you could roll wreck at standard effect because it's more of a directional thing.
But surely, if I'm performing a superhuman feat, like that makes it.
But it's still wreck is unleashing savage force. Skirmish is bringing bear in close combat. This is a directional. You're trying to, like you say, you called it a rugby tackle. It's one direction trying to do a thing with force. You can roll skirmish, but it'll be at more limited effect.
I'll roll skirmish because I've got 4 in that.
Okay.
So 4d6. It says you can push yourself to do. So do I not get an extra d6 for pushing myself if I use not to be trifled with?
Yeah. So you take 2 stress and you get an extra d6.
But
and
I
you
also
can do that thing.
Can I very quickly flashback?
Okay.
On the big thing that we've got meat on, I've drawn like a really rough estimation of what I think his sister looks like, and every time he's been training, it's been to that. And that's my assist of him. Every time he's been training, looking at her face.
Right, fair enough.
Nice.
That gives you a bit of a bonus. So
Take
it's
your
a
nice assist.
6d6 roll.
Try it. See what it does.
That's 2 6s, DM.
Lovely.
Like,
So you go at this point. So she is dazed and obviously reacting to this flashbang. So at that point you take your you throw your sword down and you go for an absolute full-on sprint, bear hug in, and you try and you just push her out the window. She comes to her senses just before you do that, and she slightly taken aback by the force that you're using, but she is still caught up in it. But she is able, as you get her to the window, to get her arm onto the frame and sort of maneuver herself so that she doesn't go straight through the window. So you both impact against the wall, the window breaks, but you are now entangled and tussling just by the window. Cut back to Aldrich. You've clattered through the door. This man, and Cobb have all gone sprawling on the floor. Cobb moans with the effort that it's taken, and the movement and the force of him impacting on the ground with the injury he's taken. He moans in pain. And this other man rolls and turns to you.
The flashbang?
Absolute venom.
Did that not get them as well? It was a room thing.
They were through the door into another room.
Oh, okay, I missed this.
Yeah, sorry. I described a second door. They went through that door. Sorry.
Yeah, no.
But no, he turns to you and glares at you, and he draws a knife from inside his jacket, and he goes for Cobb.
I'm gonna dive in the way. I ain't letting him go for Cobb. I don't even care if I can't get a swing off. He's not getting my boy Cobb.
Right, so you go and he's focused. His attention is away. So I'll call this a risky position, but with standard effect because he's not currently looking at you. I assume this is a skirmish you want to make.
Yeah, I'll take the 2 stress to get another dice.
Yeah, 2 stress to push yourself.
Yeah, give me a sec. I think I've got some d6 over here from a video I was shooting. It's coming out on Thursday night, everyone. I'll take my 2 stress and my skirmish. Let's see if I can roll the... I got 5. Can we...
Oh, yeah. No, that's fine. Yeah, I can take that 5.
That works
Take
quite
that
well.
5.
It's
So
like
you
a dice
at that
pot, but
point-
real life.
To you at that point, he takes a knife out. He looks at you, and he looks. We'll say just before this action he completes, he's looked at Cobb and he's gone, an eye for an eye, and he goes with absolute menace, and you tackle him to the ground, and you go, and it goes absolutely clattering. You push the knife hand sort of into him, and as you both fall on it, as you fall on him, it goes down to his side, and it just catches his ribs, and you hear him cry in pain, and as you roll off him and he pulls the knife away, there's blood on it, his blood.
Okay, so I need to ask you a very important question here.
Yes,
We know that this concealed palm pistol is broken. Is it likely to explode if fired?
It just will not work. It was
So I won't just lose my arm if I fire.
Oh no! It just won't work if you try and fire it.
I was gonna lose an arm.
I was really hoping you were going to say pull the trigger and find out. But...
Yeah,
I mean, I'm going to be honest, boys. Like, out of character mechanically, if it's something that's about that size, it's not going to blow your arm off.
Yeah, but it might blow my hand off and part of his face. I was going to go for like an Ottoman slap.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the mechanism was broke
That's
to the
fine.
point where it would deploy but not fire.
That's
it would
fine.
jam.
So
Yeah, we'll leave it there. Sorry,
Okay.
with you guys, we'll cut back. Giscard, what are you doing?
So I thought the 3 of us were outside of a door, and the other 3 were inside the door. That's why the grenade went through the door. I didn't realize that we were inside the room, but not, and we'd gone sideways into another room. So where am I?
So you are at the doorway of the office, the first office, where
Right, so I can see
Orlan and Mercy at the other end of that office, and a second door where Aldrich disappeared through. You're in the room currently, still.
Right. Okay. In that case, I will take another item of blowguns, darts, and syringes. And while these 2 are doing their thing on the floor, I may not necessarily use the blowgun, but I might walk up to Mercy. Is it?
Yeah.
Mercy, she's tussling with Orlan.
Yeah, we're like.
I'll wait for a moment until she's back towards me, in the back of the neck with a needle of standstill poison.
Okay. Again, it will be a limited effect, and it will be a roll that you won't be able to just do this. This will be a skill roll. So tell me what skill this is you're using to try and.
Finesse?
Oh shit! No, don't say finesse.
I think finesse.
Skirmish. Fuck off. I haven't got anything in that.
This is a limited.
Skirmish. I have one in skirmish.
This is a desperate position. Normal effect.
I can't help you. I've
Train fighter, boys.
only got 2 I've only got 2 stress left. Like, I can't help you.
Oh, I can push for stress, can't I?
Yeah.
I'll take 2 stress for another dice. Yes, a 6 and a 3.
Yeah, so that's a 6.
The dice won't like me right now.
As Orlan and Mercy get engaged in this back and forth hand-to-hand fight, feinting, testing each other, just absolutely, sometimes not even skillfully, just grappling and absolutely going all out. You attempt to go up behind Mercy when she is like
back to me,
otherwise imposed back to you, and you attempt to stick her with this needle. Just as you go and stick it, she sort of senses a presence and is able to shift her body weight so that you don't get it into her neck. You manage to impact the needle into her shoulder, which sort of like, again, you can feel like she's obviously trained and attuned to these sorts of things. So she sort of like her arm sort of visibly weakens, and the grip tends to loosen where it is on Orlan, but she's still standing and she's still fighting. You've done quite a lot of quite a lot to break her defense there, boys. You ain't got that much more to go. But for now, Orlan.
I'm gonna beat on this guy with this brandy bottle.
Addison.
That's me.
Oh, I thought
Orlan.
Orlan.
Not
Orlan. Oh, uh, I've got hold of her, and like all the anger, like knowing that she's the reason our father died and our nation fell and everything. I'm gonna go skirmish and go to town, like start like body, basically just try and pepper her with she's gonna catch these hands basically.
Yeah. So you're gonna like at that point. So from the momentary distraction you've got from Giscard being there behind her, she's had to deal with him as well, and this slightly weakened effect in her arm from this syringe. You're just gonna go to town, I assume.
Yeah, if I can push for a rib, I'm going through that rib like butter.
Right. That I'll allow that. So yes, this is now a risky position because of the effect that's been had, the damage that's been done already, and the effect you've got from Giscard. This is a standard position, like risky position, standard effect.
I've got 5 is the top roll, DM.
Right, so that's a 5. So yeah, so you've managed to use this opening that you've got from her left side to actually drive your fist up into her rib cage, and she absolutely, you can hear the expulsion of air from her lungs. You see that a little bit of blood sort of dribbles down her chin. She's still in it. She's still trying. She's not quite given up yet, but she's so close.
That's for Papa. That's for Papa. This one's
Aldrich.
for our country.
Much like that. Aldrich, we'll go back to you. What are you doing now? This guy is sort of lying floor next to you, sort of with this bloodied knife. And he's sort of holding his side.
I don't know if you've read the Hunger Games series of books, but in the first one, there is a man who beats someone's skull in with a rock. Whatever rock-shaped object, if I've still got that brandy bottle, I'm just going to do that. Like, it's not going to be pretty, it's going to be gross. He doesn't care. Someone threatened Cobb, and he's going in. Just whatever he can find, just to beat this guy. I don't care if I get stabbed.
So you've got the brandy bottle in your hand. He's sort of looking at you. And just before you do, he's like, I can't say. You can't hurt a guy for trying. You killed my friends.
You were about to hurt Cobb, and then I just start wailing on him.
And yeah, so that will be wreck. If you've got wreck.
Can I have skirmish?
Explain to me what skill it is.
Well, skirmish, right? You're in a bar fight.
Yeah, skirmish. Tell you what, devil's bargain for you. Devil's bargain. You will beat this guy with this bottle, but you will not be able to stop yourself from being covered in blood.
Oh, I was going to take that as the ending of this anyway. I was going to go with a way worse devil bargain if he stabs me, but the covered in blood is fine.
Devil's bargain. Like, you won't be able to stop it yourself. You'll be head to toe covered in blood.
That's fine. I'll take a devil's bargain for that.
Yeah, sure. That's a skirmish roll then, please.
Oh.
What was it?
2 2s.
2 2s. So you go to beat this man. You start hitting his head over and over again, and it splatters. Like he starts spitting up blood on you, and it goes all over your front. You get some on your face, you wipe it off, and you keep going. But this man is obviously full of vengeance, and he doesn't seem. And he's sort of like he shakes this off. He sort of you start catching a rhythm, and he starts to sense that rhythm, and eventually, as you go back and swing, he catches the bottle, and he sort of rolls and pushes you over. And as you do that, the hand that he's got the knife in, he sort of runs it across your stomach. Take level 2 harm, please.
That's pretty bad.
Any specific condition?
Cut, just
Slash stomach.
Knife wound, stomach wound.
D10. I've just put slash
Stomach.
Yeah.
Slashed and bleeding.
Oh,
yeah,
that's fine.
So he rolls. So that's what he pushes you over, and you roll, and then he starts. He's still again. He is now moaning in the same way that you can hear Cobb moaning, and he just rolls onto his stomach, and he just starts crawling on his elbows towards Cobb. We'll cut back to Giscard. What are you doing? You've still got this. You've got Orlan in front of you, absolutely wailing on mercy, and you're still stood there watching from the side, still in close combat with them. But
yeah. This time, different syringe, same approach. This time with eye blind poison, so they lose their sight.
Right, good. So you're gonna try again to sort of catch the timing right. So you've got this needle, and you're gonna try and catch it.
blowgun might be a bit of a mistake, so I'll do it by hand.
Yeah, okay.
What did we use last time?
Skirmish.
Skirmish. This is again. This is a desperate
Skirmish.
situation, and it's also limited effect because of.
Yeah.
I would say the limited effect comes
stress
from.
or devil's bargain. What do we think?
I would say the limited effect comes from the fact that Orlan, it will not be like he's just absolutely going to town. So finding the correct position with him being as savage as he's being is kind of difficult.
What about Devil's
That's
Bargain?
what
This is the last thing on his belt.
Is it the last thing on your belt from your loadout?
Not by a long way. No, I took normal.
No, but this is the last like grenade thing. You can still have blades and stuff.
It's not a grenade. It's a syringe.
I will take the devil's bargain that if you roll poorly, you hit me instead.
That's not. No, the Devil's Bargain needs to happen.
Devil's Bargain happens regardless of how poor the roll is. You can push
I'll
yourself.
I'll just push for stress then, because it's not really a good one here.
There isn't, unfortunately. So yeah, you can just roll and take 2 stress if you want to do an extra. So that's a 5.
2 and a 5.
So again, Orlan just absolutely wailing on her. She's looking very defeated at this point, and you manage to find a slightly better positioning this time. You do. She's not as she doesn't sense you like she did before. She doesn't react in the same way that she did, and you manage to stick her not in the neck, but sort of in the high shoulder, and you can feel at that point her just like she starts to move her hands to her head, and she just that Orlan is still wailing on her, but her arms just fall to her side, and I guess Orlan, seeing this, kind of stops what he's doing, confused, and steps, and she just drops to her knees, looks up to where she's looking straight in front of her, because she said her vision hasn't gone completely. It's like you can tell that her eyes are like glazed over, so it's like her vision is probably the effect is vision is probably quite fuzzy. It's like she can see light, but probably not like shapes and that. She sort of looks up and is like, oh, seems you do still have it in you, brother.
Giscard, I'm going to ask you a question here.
One thing, we're just going to finish off the other encounter quick, Addison, because we're pushed for time a little bit because of technical issues, unfortunately. But Aldrich, he's crawling towards Cobb, my friend. What are you doing?
I'm going to grab his ankle, try and pull him back, and I'm going to take off the last thing of my equipment because I went light. Pull out a blade or two, and then I'm just going to start stabbing into his leg, like trying to find an artery.
Yes.
This ain't a pretty fight. Or there's blood everywhere. I'm just going for it.
That'll be skirmish.
Cool. I will take a stress so I can roll 1 dice. Sorry, I'll take 2 stress so I can roll 1 dice because I've got the -1 from the slash stomach.
Yeah.
5.
So you grab this man's ankle as he's sort of crawling. He doesn't even seem to realise he's still focused on trying to get towards this moaning like figure in the corner of Cobb. And you just take a knife from your flank. You don't even say anything, and you just go and you stick it into the back of his thigh, and you hear him scream as you just rake it down along his thigh, and just like you can sense it opens up and the blood just starts spewing, and he sort of screams out, and the grip of his white knuckles, you can see the white of his knuckles on this knife just sort of loosens and just falls. And eventually the crying stops.
At this point,
you'll notice as well as you see this limp. I assume you sort of stand up. You're looking towards Cobb. You'll notice that there is a ledger.
I'm not going to stand up. I'm just going to roll onto my side, holding my wounds because I'm bleeding out, right? Because I've got my stomach.
Not bleeding out. You're just cut. It's not like you require help. It's only level 2 harm, but it's like it's a deep cut.
I'm imagining from the street fight, I am getting up straight away. I'm just gonna chill on the floor and wait for someone else to come get me.
Okay.
No.
So that's what you're doing, but you'll note again. What you will notice, I'll say, while you're lying there, is you'll notice a leather-bound booklet that's been sort of discarded into the room. That is what he had in his hand just before you all tumbled into this room. Okay. Quickly to the other guys. So Mercy's sort of now on her knees in front of you.
So you were going to ask us a question.
So I would say, how would you react if you saw? So you saw all on the Rage Essence, correct? When we went to the Ghostland, when he took that drug.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
how would you react if you hadn't seen him take that, but he's under the same sort of like he looks exactly the same. Like he's even though this girl is like defenseless, everything, he's like marching over loudly. He like launches at one of the desks, grabs the sword, is like
As you grab the
going-
sword, you get a gun again. That's enough. She's more useful to us alive.
It's not enough.
last-
It's never enough. Not
the
for what she
last
did to
thing-
me.
The last thing you need is to be discovered here with a dead body and this mess. You need to leave. I'll take care of this and book her. You don't need to be associated with this. Not right now. We'll take her somewhere safe. I'll secrete her with some associates. They won't let her go.
My father, my mother, my country. She.
Revenge can be had, but not here. Here is the wrong place. Come on. Get down the stairs before anybody starts coming up here to see what all the noise is. Take a moment to straighten yourself out and look presentable by the time you get down there. Then leave quietly. I'll sort this lot out.
I sheath the sword. You tie her up. You break her knees. You break her thumbs. You do whatever you can to make sure she cannot fight, because she will fight and she will fight and she will bleed and she will die for her beliefs. So do not test me on this one, Giscard.
That is not a
Just let her-
problem. That in all in due course. We'll keep her down. Don't worry. But if you're associated with this, we don't know whether she's dead yet. I point to the hostess. It could go very badly for you and the image of the Scotland people. You don't need to be associated with this right now. With that, I'll put a hand on your shoulder and say, "You need to go." And then I'll turn and I'll finish drugging Mercy, and then I'll go and make sure she's tied up, and then see if the hostess is actually dead or not.
Just before, I assume you mean you want to knock Mercy out.
Yeah. Make sure she's properly, enough
Before
tranquilizer
you
to knock
do
out an
that,
elephant.
we'll say that before you do, she sort of looks vet again. She can still kind of see what she's doing. Like the poison
She
is sort
can
of
see, like,
wearing off.
blurred
This point,
shapes,
sort of
yeah.
moving a bit back. So she sort of looks over to where Orland is. I assume, kind of making him leave, and is like, "One thing I want you to know: it was not me who betrayed the camp. There is someone else at play here. I may have been guilty of some things, but it's not solely me. There are others here who wish to see our people undone. Remember that."
And I'll shut her up.
And yeah, and she's talking like, and then you drug her so she goes down. And then what we'll say, gents, is as he leaves, in this scene of Giscard tending to this woman who is still alive, you can rouse her, and she'll ask sort of like, we'll montage this a bit if that's okay,
Well,
just for the sake of time.
I'll check she's my actions would be check she's alive. If she is alive, get Mercy out of there. Not with Aldrich for the minute, but hide Mercy somewhere I can retrieve her, knowing that she's heavily drugged and tied up. Come back and revive her, and then make the story that the dead guy on the floor is an assassin, and this guy stopped her. I'd also get rid of Cobb as well and make sure he gets out the back door.
Yeah. So you can take. So what you'll say, well, again, montaging this slightly, you can take Mercy. You can leave her with like some inebriati members who were in attendance of the party, maybe some of your associates in the staff, and just say, look, take her to a street name, say in the city, get her out of here. You'll then go back. You rouse this someone who'll wake up. She'll ask you what happened. You can explain that there was an attempted assassination by this man who you can show her, and you can say that she was saved by Aldrich, who is there currently. like I say, Aldrich, who is there currently. Sorry, I was just checking a message I had then.
Yeah, it's all good.
But yeah, then you say, then you attend to Cobb, and as this scene plays out and this camera pans away, you'll hear a faint sort of cawing of a crow overhead.
Ah, the murder crows.
The Deathland scavengers do not take kindly to death in the city, and they are summoned when someone dies. And that's where we'll end it for the week, guys.
Can we sit there with a shotgun and fuck those crows up?
Thank you.
That was
Thank you
such
very
a fucking
much.
good episode. I'm
Thank
really
you.
sorry about the technical difficulties, guys. Nothing could be done about that. I don't program Discord.
Yeah,
Well,
really
so
sorry. I'm
we
really
can-
sorry if that didn't have the. I know it had the impact on these guys. I'm really sorry if the impact didn't come across on the stream, but I had a lot of fun doing that. And that's not even the final week.
Oh, the finale next week, guys. Be there or be square. Let's
Yeah.
do plugs. So we'll start with the easiest plug as always. Oh no, the stream overlay's not here, so it's just up in the corner now. Go.
I don't know who are you pointing at me again?
Yes, James.
Yeah, wait a minute. I can't see the stream overlay. I hide on the Loom. It's a Discord server where we play TTRPGs. I'm sure there'll be a link somewhere. I rely on Ben for this. Come join us. We do the thing.
Right, Jordan, go. D plugs.
Yes, my name is Jordan. I'm Uninformed RPG on YouTube, which is my YouTube channel where I give tips and advice for newer players to TTRPGs because I've not been playing it for very long. I know what it's like to be a new player coming into this, and I want to share my advice because I want people to play this because it's fun.
Excellent. Upstairs, Addison, please give your.
It's Adson here from the Pod of Many Things. The newest episode will be up, I promise. It's just been a hell of a time at work, and hopefully, are we still doing it, Ben? We're still announcing. Like...
Oh yeah, we need to do that. I've totally forgotten.
We were going to announce
a lot
today,
went
weren't
wrong.
we, Addison?
Yeah,
We'll do that after my plugs. We'll do that. We'll do the big announcement
Yeah.
after my plugs. So, right. So you can watch us here for the final episode of Blades in the Dark Red Herrings. I tried to look at the screen overlay, but it's not there. Blades in the Dark Red Herrings. Next week at 7:30 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, I've been informed, is correct for now.
Currently.
For this final episode, and then after which, Addison, what will we be playing?
We will be playing, designed by the Matt Click, who I had on the Pod of Many Things, and his friends over at Absolute Tabletop. Their fantastic, phenomenal Black Hack extension, Mecha Hack, where you get to live your inner childhood anime mecha fan boy dream and get in the robot and fight wars. We will be playing Mecha Hack, and our title will be Mecha Hack Desperate Alliance.
Dun, dun,
So,
That's mecha, right?
Motherfuckers.
That's the thing that robots do.
Caponarigato, Mr. Roboto.
Roboto.
Right,
That's
you
going to be
can
the
also
entire thing.
you can also catch a new video on the Flickering Torch. This week, it's a review of Can Letters Be Role-Playing Games? To start off our series, Can Blank Be Role-Playing Games, that we already started. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Again, sorry about the technical difficulties. Hopefully, next week won't be as hectic, but let's be honest, it definitely will. So, if that's all from everyone, is that all from everyone, or did I miss
That
another
is all
thing?
from me.
Excellent. Bye, everyone.
See you later, guys.
You get to see me murder.